Indian economist, politician, and a senior leader. A dynamic woman, daughter of the soil, being born in Madurai, is highly remarkable for her eloquence and compromising national and Tamil spirit, is our India's prestigious woman minister to head the ministries of defense before and finance now.
நிமிர்ந்த நன்னடை நேர்கொண்ட பார்வையும் நிலத்தில் யார்க்கும் அஞ்சாத நெறிகளும் என்ற பாரதியின் வரிகளுக்கு உதாரணமாக திகழ்பவர் நமது மாண்புமிகு மத்திய நிதி அமைச்சர். Now we invite the Honorable Madam Finance Minister to deliver the special address.
Namaskaram, Dr. Uma Kannan, Mallika Srinivasan, the Principal Sri Pandiraja, and Sri Hari Thiyagarajan, and the eminent gathering before me. I feel honored to be here this evening to participate in this function. I had the opportunity to have a look at the book pre-release. It was very well explained by Dr. Uma. Am I right? No, your Sandhya, Dr. Sandhya, looked at what actually is in the book. I did spend some time on the book. Whilst the presentation about what is in the book was matter of fact, and it is actually a rich compendium of everything to do with this great institution marking the 75th year. But what I find attractive about the book is that it has intertwined great personalities with the growth of a great institution. It's not always that any institution has that fortune. Thiyagaraja College has that fortune. In passing, or as a matter of a serious observation of the book, it was observed that late Sri Muthu Thiyagarajan Chettiar had the opportunity to go to Cambridge, have a look at the institutions there, went to Shantiniketan, was very inspired and motivated on the positive side, and on the other side that he couldn't have the opportunity to do higher education. And therefore, but the fact which comes out there is the vision, his aesthetics. I mean, just imagine then, Cambridge University with a riverfront. He imagines for Madurai a similar situation with, on the rear side, the Vaigai, and on the front, even as I entered now, I was telling the person who was sitting next to me, just imagine the mind picture of this person who was able to transfix what he saw in Cambridge onto Madurai, and just didn't leave it there, but did it here. Institutions have their own lives. 75 is not a number. It's so infused with the dream of a person, and a dream which is articulated as well. He's not saying, with the benefit of hindsight, yes, I also saw it in Shantiniketan, then I also saw it in Cambridge. He saw it, he came and did that here. And it is growing, and growing how? So that's where Thiyagarajan group of institutions, I would think, is so fortunate to have such a dreamer, but who also executed his dream. So I think Madurai stands to benefit from such visionaries, and a vision that seems to be nurtured by the family. Nurtured by the family, respecting that vision. I mean, someone who did not have the opportunity for higher education did not become a pessimist. He didn't accuse the society for saying, oh no, look, I didn't have higher education. oh no, look how unfortunate I was. No. He looked at ways in which he could offer that to every young man and woman who would want to do it. So it's one thing to feel hurt by not having an opportunity, but to transfer that, to convert that into an opportunity to provide that missed opportunity for himself, for the rest of all the youth, for generations to come, is what makes a great institution. I'm also happy the progress which is being made in the current environment, with the rankings being improved, about which young Sri Hari Thiyagarajan can feel immensely proud that he's going to have to work in that kind of an environment. I can't miss but saying, of course, there has been an opportunity earlier, even as Mr. Kannan was alive, when he was introduced, young Muthu, Hari Thiyagarajan. But I can't miss sitting here on the dais that he's so like his father. I wish he was just an inch more taller. He would be exactly same like his father. I'm sure, therefore, that that spirit of the family to offer more to the society, which has given them the place of respect and honor, continues with him, and it is for all of us to work for such institutions, for them to grow and be nurtured, showcase the excellence that they have. And as was mentioned, the visitors' book, the vignettes of pictures, remarkably align with Free India post-47. Every leader who had anything to do with education or knowledge felt that they should be in this college, at least for one occasion. Every leader in that generation who thought that societies will have to be built with people around, with people in private sector, saw the importance of this institution, and they were here to be participant. The kind of handwritten note which I saw of Sri Kamaraj was so very touching. The immense contribution again that Kamaraj made to primary education in this country for somebody who had dropped out of primary school. Here is the founder of this institution who could not have higher education but who founded a college. And such great stalwarts have all been here. The association, such association, also adds great flavor to the institution. On a personal note, I have a very strong memory of a member of my family who's alive, who's close to 90, who almost every time we have a chat recalls this one incident in his life and strangely relates to the founder of this institution. He had then joined Bank of Madura as a young man, just having finished his BCom. And there was this famous visit of Sri T.A. Pai, who's the founder of the Syndicate Bank, which has now become part of the Canara Bank, and who had come to Madurai probably to see if there's any opportunity to understand how Bank of Madura works. And he was asked to escort, as an employee of Bank of Madura, he was asked to escort T.A. Pai around. And there was some draft of a note which had to be prepared. He had prepared it, but he had to come with a sense of caution and fear inside him to consult and take inputs into that little note from Sri late Muthu Thiyagarajan himself. He was, in a way, a bit hesitant as a young man who's just finished his college working in Bank of Madura, but what would it be? That experience, which he says, will be very useful for all of us to pay homage to such a great man. So he was called into probably his library where he was seated, and he would go in and show him the draft note, and he saw it and then said, but this line should have been written in a different way or something of that kind, and said, I'll tell you why, and said, just go onto the third shelf in that row from top the fourth whatever shelf, pick up the seventh book or something of that kind. To that specific extent. And he went, picked up, being sure of the number of shelves, he counted number of, and picked up that book. And came and gave the book, and he said, yes, now open up page 32, something like that, page 27. And he said, read the third paragraph. And he read. It was appropriately that paragraph. If he had known earlier, read earlier, he would have drafted it better. And he said, I was shocked to know the memory, the knowledge, and even the sequence with which the books were arranged in his library. And he was able to confidently say, get that book, read that paragraph from that page. And he said it was one amazing experience for a young man like me. This observation about Sri late Karu Thiyagarajan, the founder of this institution, the man who dreamt about creating somewhat the aesthetics of Cambridge in Madurai, and who's created it. And he was so selfless not to take that palace of Ramnath Raja, but he thought he should be given to the college. And that wealth of knowledge that he had, that he could do this with confidence without making the young man feel nervous. Of course, he did feel nervous, but he got the book and was astounded at this personality. So his love for education, his desire to provide quality education, was all so much in every one of the cells of his body. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been possible to have an experience of that kind with that great individual who's the founder of this institution. Without taking more of your time, I'm indeed honored and have a little personal, as I narrated, that little episode which has lived with me for a very long time. And I take this opportunity to narrate it before you about your founder institution. It's like in Telugu, they have a little proverb which would say, many of you all do probably understand, Puttintiki velli mama katha cheppava. You go to your birth, house of your birth, பிறந்த வீட்டுக்கு போய் உன் மாமன் தாய் மாமனின் கதையை சொன்னையா அப்படின்னு கேட்பாங்க. அந்த மாதிரி தியாகராஜர் காலேஜில் வந்து ஸ்ரீ லேட் கர்முத்து தியாகராஜன்ஜியை பற்றி நான் சொன்னேன்னா அது கொஞ்சம் சரியாக இருக்காது. ஆனால் அந்த எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் அப்பேற்பட்டது. அது எனக்கு அவர் சொல்லி எங்கள் தாய்மாமன் சொல்லி எனக்கு அபவுட் திஸ் கிரேட் ஃபவுண்டர் ஆஃப் திஸ் கிரேட் இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன் மனசில் எப்போதும் இருந்திருக்கு. அதை இன்னைக்கு சொல்கிறதுக்கான ஒரு வாய்ப்பும் கிடைச்சது. அதுக்கு மிக்க நன்றி. இந்த இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன் இன்னும் பல 75 ஆண்டுகளை கொண்டாடணும்னு இறைவனை வாழ்த்து பிரார்த்திச்சு உங்கள் நன்றி சொல்கிறேன். தேங்க்யூ.
Thank you, madam, for your powerful words of wisdom.
Success isn't only wealth and status. It is also impact and charisma. A true leader helps and empowers people to achieve. Here is one such leader, Mrs. Mallika Srinivasan, the chairperson and managing director TAFE, the company which was instrumental in mechanizing the Indian farming sector and played a vital role in the green revolution of our country. She is an enterprising woman, corporate leader with a great sense of business acumen and leadership. She has been honored with prestigious awards such as the Government of India's Padma Shri Award for her contribution to trade and industry and the Global Corporate Leadership Award by the US India Business Council.
Now we invite Madam Mrs. Mallika Srinivasan to offer felicitations.
Honorable Finance Minister, Dr. Umakannan Sri Hari Thiyagarajan, and I feel a bit strange calling him Sri Hari Thiyagarajan, but I will do that as appropriate. Dr. Pandyaraja, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, professors, alumni, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here today on the occasion of the Platinum Jubilee celebrations of such an iconic institution that has been a pioneer in redefining the educational landscape of Tamil Nadu, commencing, as the Finance Minister pointed out, from the early years of independence. And it's indeed an honor to receive the copy of the book from our Honorable Finance Minister today. Thank you, ma'am. I offer my warm felicitations to Dr. Uma Kannan on the release of her book and to her co-author, Sandhya Sridhar. The book lucidly espouses the vision of the founder. I'm going to take a slightly different take over here today, and the Institute's journey to excellence, bringing out the emphasis that Thiyagarajar College places on a value-based, holistic approach to education and character building. An approach that enjoys within it a strong appreciation and understanding of our heritage as it prepares students for a successful career on the global stage. An approach, in fact, that defines the entire group of Thiyagarajar educational institutions. We miss in our midst today Sri Karu Kannan. As president of the college, he provided the stewardship to 5 decades, supported, as was mentioned in the early years, by the indomitable spirit of his mother, Dr. Radha Thiyagarajan. But his was a leadership that translated the founder's vision into reality, and I think that's what I wanted to emphasize today. Sustaining and building on the founding principles of diversity, equality, and inclusion, and as the book says, that is now wired into its DNA. A dear friend of our family, I offer today my warm tribute to his steadfast focus, his vision, his perseverance, commitment, and openness to the relevance of context that has positioned the Thiyagarajar group of institutions as amongst the most sought-after educational institutions in the country today by both students and recruiters. The book, just released, records the incredible and inspiring vision of a legendary Tamil industrialist, a social reformer, and educationist who deeply believed in the power of education alone to transform individual and societal progress. We heard from our earlier speakers, particularly the minister, about the inspiration he drew from Mahatma Gandhi and Rabindranath Tagore, and the nationalist that he was. And I really enjoyed this quote of his that was in the book, which talked about his own thoughts. India's first and foremost need is true learning, to produce good citizens of culture. These were his words at the inauguration of this college. This gives the wealth to the poor, honor to the rich, aid to the young, and support to the aged. On this belief was founded the Thiyagarajar College, and as was pointed out, and one looks at all his institutions, and one cannot but help think that his plans, his ideas, his vision, his thoughts were grand. They were on a grand scale, whether it was his institute, the companies that he built, or the institutions that he did. And much was said earlier about the River Cam being the setting for Cambridge, and the Vaigai becoming the setting for the Thiyagarajar College, and the Grand Sethupathi Palace as the home for this shrine of culture. I think, look at the principles chosen. The principles chosen, and I was just talking to the principal on the sides just now, were from the finest of colleges, educated, I think, at Cambridge and Oxford, to lead this institution. And the other thing that stands out as you reflect back is there were 2 important things in that curriculum, which really became the core differentiators: philosophy and Sanskrit. And I think to think of that at that time as core differentiators really speaks volumes for the vision that he had for integrating education with Indian culture. Tamil and Tamil literature, close to the founder's heart, were given special importance, and I think that's being carried through even to today. Committed to nation building, he called the college a small and humble endeavor in that direction. It was left, however, to our dear friend, young Kannan, on whose shoulders the responsibility fell to see the dream to fruition. The book highlights the key markers of excellence that define Thiyagarajar College: the variety of courses, the outstanding rating of A++, by the National Assessment Accreditation Council, the rise to the 18th position, the strong creative environment that pervades the college, and the research emphasis. But as I was reading the book, and I thought, this is in true Kannan and Uma style, because it is defined by humility. It is defined by humility, and I think Sandhya made a reference to this when she said that Kannan would not have any reference made to his contribution. That's why I said I'll take a different take, because I do want to make a reference to his contribution. And the book was written in his lifetime. There's no direct mention anywhere in the book of Mr. Kannan's contribution. And it would be fitting today to explicitly recognize this. Shri Kannan ensured a pure merit-based. And yesterday I had a call, knowing that I was coming to this function, from someone who'd been admitted to one of the institutes as a student, saying, could you please recommend, you know them, you're coming for this meeting tomorrow, could you please recommend that they can be changed from this branch of engineering to the other branch of engineering? And I simply had no hesitation in saying, this is a merit-based institution. I have not done it in 40 years. I'm not going to do it today. So, and I think that he ensured a pure merit-based, affordable, holistic education, passionately invested in enhancing technology and infrastructure, created research centers, and established the foundation that Hari has promised to build on, the international connections with universities like the Mingchi University of Technology in Taiwan and the National Taipei Institute of Technology. So with his characteristic pragmatism, and I think that defined him, Mr. Kannan beautifully blended modernism and global aspiration with tradition and culture, recognizing the students and the institution have to respond to globalization and the integration of India into the world economy. Of course, the culture emphasis continued, and the Saiva Siddhantam program is a unique initiative that sets the college apart and attracts participants from all over the world. Thanks to the efforts of Shri Kannan, the college stands proud with its alumni occupying prime position in all walks of life, and prominent among its Padma awardees are Tamil scholars, educationists, eminent judges, and social reformers. The founder's love for Tamil and Tamil literature led to the creation of the Department of Tamil in 1957, and has received a lot of encouragement from the family. Under the patronage of Dr. Uma Kannan, a PhD in socio-cultural anthropology, the Tamil Music Research Center was set up and added a unique dimension to the propagation of our rich culture, attracting to its mission scholars and philanthropists of repute. Dr. Uma's keen interest in the progress and empowerment of women and her work outside the college in the upliftment of disadvantaged women and children. And one of the first things I did was to go back and check when it was made co-ed. When it was made a co-ed college way back in the 80s, led to the establishment again under her stewardship of the Women's Study Center. And also she chairs the Earning and Learning Empowerment workshops. And I'm so delighted, Uma, to see this, because it is also my own, and I'm sure the Finance Minister will endorse this when I say true, and I have had an opportunity to talk to her very briefly on this in her office one day, to say true empowerment for women is only economic empowerment that comes through education. And that has been all our personal experiences, and I think this is therefore wonderful that she's focusing on this. And with this focus on promoting diversity and investment in infrastructure, look at the ratio. The female-male ratio is 1:0.8. And when I dictated this to my secretary, he thought I got it wrong. He said, are you sure this is right? He asked me 3 times. I said, I'm very sure it's right. Just take it. 1:0.8 as compared to 1:7. And he was not sure which point was missing where, as in 1990. And that, I think, is remarkable progress and a true benchmark of inclusivity. These women would undoubtedly be among the Padma awardees of the future and do the nation proud. A dimension of education that truly rounds off character-building educational approach is sports. And you see all the testimonies that we have in the book from the various alumni who have enjoyed the rich extracurricular environment of the college. And Hari brings the dimension of enhancing further the sports infrastructure and building a host of initiatives that relate to the aspiration of modern students. training and skilling programs, enhancement of placement services. And what really I really enjoyed were two things. One was the tie-up with industry, much required tie-ups with industry, and a well-articulated strategy for the long-term growth of the institutions along all the it was very professional, along student experience, academics, faculty development, research, very much as we would do in an industry to build the way forward. So that was really, really beautifully done. Collectively, the Karu Muthu family, the management and students have upheld and sustained the legacy and heritage of the institution, which has been so nicely brought out in the book, while simultaneously building on this foundation a dynamism and a modernism that makes the college an institution par excellence, one that makes the students and the nation proud. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to be offering my felicitations to, on this occasion, and I extend my warm good wishes to the management, principal, faculty, and students for all success in the years ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam, for offering felicitations.
At this juncture, we would like to call upon the pillar of our college, Principal Dr. D. Pandiraja, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good evening. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks for the Platinum Jubilee celebration of Thiyagarajar College. Thiyagarajar College was started in 1949